covering the entire Piedmont Triad and everywhere you are. This is WXII 12 News at 5.
Right now on WXII 12 News at 5, all aboard the Siberian Express.
Old Man Winter has a sub-zero grip on parts of the U.S., and that mass of cold air is coming our way fast.
Good evening. Right now, Ashe County, Davie County, Surrey County, Wilkes County, and Henry County, Virginia schools are all closed tomorrow. Alamance County, Burlington schools, and Rockingham County schools will be operating on a 2-hour delay. We have a complete list scrolling at the bottom of your screen and also available on WXII12.com, and more on the schools that are on standby in just a moment. But first, starting off here in the WXII 12 Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope has the very latest on this deep polar plunge set to hit the Piedmont in the next 12 hours. Lainey?
Well, it is very rare for us to see this dangerously cold air moving into our region. Every 15 or 20 years we see air like this. We've got the strong winds out there bringing in that Arctic air, and that is cause for concern with wind chill warnings for the mountains shaded in this brightest pink, and a wind chill advisory for the Triad and for the foothills. We're talking about wind chill values that will likely get down into the single digits in the Triad and will likely be well below zero in the mountains. It starts right now and continues through the day tomorrow. You look at our wind chill readings right now, they're in the mid to upper teens in Winston-Salem and Greensboro. Already feels like it is 7 below zero in Galax. Here's how strong the winds are. They're out of the west and northwest at about 15 to 20 miles an hour, but they are gusting higher than that. The actual thermometer readings, 10 degrees in Galax, 21 in North Wilkesboro, 29 in Winston-Salem. It's freezing in Greensboro as well at 30 degrees, and we are talking about record low temps tomorrow morning. Single digits, 5-6 degrees across the Triad early tomorrow morning, with numbers that are down below freezing in our mountain towns. Now through tomorrow, we've got the dangerous cold and of course the dangerous wind chill values. Our temperatures are going to be down in the single digits early tomorrow morning. They'll be below zero in the mountains, and when you factor in the wind, you're talking about wind chill values that could be as low as 35 below zero. Folks, what we're going to talk about during this newscast are the dangers of this type of cold air: frostbite, hypothermia. You have to be concerned about your pipes, and if you're in the mountains, travel is not advised. I'll have more details coming up.
Thanks, Lainey. And remember, you can keep track of the forecast anywhere you go. Check out the WXII 12 News app for interactive radar and weather maps anytime.
And make sure to stay with WXII 12 News tonight and tomorrow morning. Beginning at 4:30, Kim, Nicole, and Brian Slocum will be live in the elements, bringing you the latest school and business closings and delays. Meteorologist Austin Cavanis will be tracking the latest in the Weather Center, and Buster Brown will have your traffic alerts and concerns. And remember, for the latest, click over to WXII12.com. All day, WXII 12 News has been in contact with school leaders in our communities, waiting to get word on what the plan will be tomorrow morning, when we're expecting temperatures we have not seen in years. David Janot is live in Winston-Salem with what parents need to know at this hour. David?
Well, as the temperatures in the Triad continue to drop, schools in the area are making sure that they are prepared for these anticipated cold weather. Now, from Forsyth County to Davidson County, thousands of students will be facing blistering cold weather as they make their way to school. But before they wake up, school maintenance crews will be out checking their fleet of buses. Forsyth County has to check 300 buses, and Guilford County Schools has 600 buses to look at. Sub-zero conditions can make it hard on batteries and engines to start. Some schools have left the heat on over the weekend to make it warm enough for students in the classroom. Theo Helm from Forsyth County Schools says it's important to be prepared for these expected record lows, but the major preparations should start at home.
I think parents know that when it's cold, you need to dress your children warmly and wear extra layers, wear gloves, mittens, hats, I think it's a lot of common sense things that certainly we do as adults, and we need to make sure children do too as well.
Now, there are some schools like the ones in Forsyth County that plan on running their buses and school as normal, but they say if anything changes in the weather pattern, that they will notify parents immediately. Reporting in Winston-Salem, I'm David Janot, WXII 12 News.
These sub-zero temperatures in our forecast are something we certainly need to take seriously, and that's why local doctors want to get the word out tonight about real health concerns when the temperature drops to expected record lows. Veronica White continues our winter weather team coverage. She's in Davie County.
To make sure that you don't end up making a trip to the emergency department tomorrow because of frostbite or hypothermia, doctors recommend a couple of key things, including zipping up and layering up.
In the winter months,
Dr. Megan Hunt from Wake Forest Baptist Health Davie Medical Center says boots, gloves, hats, all those extras will help protect your extremities, which are the first to be affected by frostbite. She says the elderly and children are most at risk, as well as those who spend time outdoors, so limit your exposure to the outdoors as much as possible. Frostbite is decreased blood flow that can result in the death of tissue. Hypothermia, another concern, is decreased body temperature. Both can be serious. Look for the signs of frostbite on your fingers and toes, and watch for hypothermia, especially if someone has the signs of a moderate to severe case, which affects your ability to think and communicate.
color changes of fingers and toes in ways that aren't improving with rewarming, that would be a problem. Additionally, with hypothermia, that's one of those things where we begin with really conservative things like warming up with warm blankets. It just sort of depends on also if a person's confused from being out in the cold, can't interact appropriately, then that also would raise a lot of concern.
And one of the biggest reasons that emergency doctors here say they see folks during the winter is that they slip on the ice. So make sure to keep an eye out for those spots as well. In Davie County, I'm Veronica White, WXII 12 News.
The frigid temperatures we're experiencing now will have an impact on your energy bill at the end of the month.
And in some cases, that can be a substantial impact. Our Bill O'Neill is live in Greensboro with more on that tonight. Bill?
Guys, the folks over at Urban Ministry here in Greensboro say they expect a large number of people to come their way seeking help with their energy bills by the end of this month. And an energy expert explained to us today that this cold snap could add anywhere from $50 to $200 to your monthly bill. That's quite a big difference there. Now, folks who use ovens, space heaters, or electric fireplaces to help keep warm, they'll see the biggest bills, the biggest increase, as much as a $200 increase, while those of us who simply crank up the thermostat, we'll see a smaller hit, but even then, it could be an extra $50.
People's bills will increase, and we will, when it gets colder, people hike up the temperature gauge in their houses, so we will see more people that are trying to pay that bill.
Of course, there are people in our community not worried about the energy bills, but worried about getting warm tonight. And we are told that there are roughly half a dozen shelters here in the Greensboro area. Reverend Mike Aiken, who heads up Greensboro's Urban Ministry, says there is enough room for everyone seeking shelter tonight. Back to you guys. I'm Bill O'Neill in Greensboro.
All right, thank you, Bill. The North Carolina Zoo in Asheboro will be closed tomorrow due to the bitterly cold weather. Zoo officials made that announcement today, citing concerns for visitor and employee welfare. At this point, the zoo plans to resume normal operations on Wednesday at 9 a.m., but that could change depending on the weather.
This is video from overnight in Michigan, where around 6 to 10 inches of snow fell in the Detroit metro area. By the time the storm moves out, some communities could see as much as 18 inches of snow. Wind chills were minus 20 this afternoon, and a wind chill warning will be in effect through Wednesday. And check out this screenshot of NBC News national correspondent Sarah Doloff. She is braving the cold in Chicago, where the Windy City is seeing record lows. We'll get a report from Sarah in about 10 minutes.
The weather has caused North Carolina authorities to postpone a news conference regarding 3 carbon monoxide deaths last year at a Boone hotel. No word tonight on when that news conference will be rescheduled. Daryl Dean Jenkins and Shirley Mae Jenkins died at the Best Western Plus on April 16th. Several weeks later, 11-year-old Jeffrey Lee Williams died in the same room. Autopsies later confirmed that all 3 guests died from carbon monoxide poisoning from a faulty pool heater.
A man charged with the disappearance of a Virginia teenager has been indicted for her murder. The new first-degree murder charge against Randy Taylor comes as the prosecutor says enough evidence exists to charge Taylor with the murder of Alexis Murphy. The 17-year-old has been missing since August 3rd.
Randy Allen Taylor has been indicted on the following offenses: first-degree murder of Alexis Murphy, first-degree felony murder of Alexis Murphy during abduction, abduction of Alexis Murphy with intent to defile, and another unrelated grand larceny charge.
Taylor has been held behind bars since he was arrested. He is scheduled to stand trial next month. New tonight, Governor Pat McCrory has announced the dates of a special election to replace former 12th District Congressman Mel Watt. Watt is the new director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. The governor says if a primary election is necessary, it will be held during the regularly scheduled primary date of May 6th. Should a runoff be needed, it will be held July 15th. The election to fill the seat will be held on the general election date of Tuesday, November 4th. The 12th district includes parts of Davidson, Forsyth, and Guilford counties.
North Carolina Senator Kay Hagan says she wants the Tar Heel state to rejoin other states that provide emergency unemployment benefits should Congress decide to restore them this year. These benefits went away in North Carolina back in July after the state legislature scaled back state benefits going forward. Senator Hagan is seeking re-election to the U.S. Senate this fall.
The legal battle over redistricting in North Carolina will return to the state's highest court. Today, justices heard arguments from attorneys for Democrats and other groups who say the congressional boundaries are unconstitutional and should be thrown out. Lawyers for the state and Republican legislative leaders who drew the maps have asked the justices to keep them in place. In Wilkes County, a company is expanding and creating more jobs at the same time. Interflex Acquisition Company plans to create 63 new jobs and invest more than $10 million over the next 3 years at its facility in Wilkesboro. The company is a manufacturer of flexible packaging products used primarily in the food industry. It currently employs 104 people in North Carolina. Salaries will vary by job function, but the average annual wage for the new jobs will be nearly $38,000 plus benefits.
A crash involving a school bus remains under investigation tonight. Winston-Salem police say that the bus and a car collided at the intersection of University Parkway and Coliseum Drive just before 7:30 this morning. No children were on board the bus and no one was hurt. The 71-year-old driver of the car has been cited.
The weather in the next 24 hours is expected to be record-breaking. Meteorologist Michelle Kennedy has some revealing data for us. That's next on WXII 12 News at 5.
As you can see there on the map, all of the colors indicating how this Arctic air is affecting the entire eastern half of the nation. We're going to talk about wind chill values.
Plus, a multi-vehicle accident affecting traffic heavily in High Point. You're watching WXII 12 News.